Greetings, Rockhurst. This is Coach Charbonneau. President Laughlin has announced that Made in the Image of God is this year's school theme. This reminds us that we possess a soul, an intellect, and free will. The Science Department, along with the Theology Department, have teamed up and put together a short video showing us how we might use our intellect and free will to love our neighbor.
Hi Rockers, I'm Miss Delaney, and today we're going to talk about something really important, washing your hands. The CDC recommends washing your hands with 20 seconds with soap and water. Today we're going to talk about the science behind why that's important. When you lather up your hands with soap and water, you release what are called amphiphiles, which have hydrophilic water-loving heads and hydrophobic water-hating tails. That's important because when you are washing your hands, you can actually rid your hands of any grimy, germy things that you've picked up. Let's say you are going about your day and you do pick up something on you that's slimy or sticky, maybe was flung at you, could be a virus, like coronavirus. When you're lathering up your hands, that emulsifies and releases that virus or that icky thing back into the water, and it goes down the drain. Another thing about viruses is they have a protective coat, kind of like the lab coat I'm wearing. When you use soap, that soap comes in and basically just removes that coat. So now the virus is defenseless and mostly dead. Now, hand washing is the best way to prevent against coronavirus, but if you are unable to get to a sink, what you can also use is hand sanitizer. Make sure it has at least 60% alcohol and you should be good to go. This hand washing or sanitizing should take place many times a day. We'll say at least 5 times you should wash your hands, especially before eating, after being in contact with someone, or after sneezing or blowing your nose. Hope that helps, Rockers.
And for others, we sacrifice so others don't have to. That's just the baseline of Ignatian formation. And so please follow the CDC guidelines, social distance, wear your masks. And yes, we do understand and we sympathize that this is a sacrifice that you are making. But please do the right thing, and we are grateful to you for doing so.
So I want to talk for just a moment about masks. I think we know that they need to be worn not just over the mouth, but over the nose as well. And that's because our mouth and our nose are the entry points to our respiratory system, and this is a respiratory virus. We might not know what a mask actually does, though. Yes, it blocks coughs and sneezes, and that's really, really important. But it also stops what are called aerosols, which are really, really small droplets, and therefore whenever someone's speaking, like I am now. And those droplets, they can hang around for a long time, hours and hours afterwards. So if I put a mask on, I don't spread my speech aerosols, and later on, if I walk through a spot someone's not been wearing a mask, I have a much lower chance of inhaling them. So I came across this experiment online and thought it'd be a good idea to replicate it. I've got 2 mannequins here, a little less than a meter apart, so well within the 6-foot distance. And I've got a can here of heptanes and acetone that gets aerosolized when you spray it. And yes, you don't cough those things, thankfully, but the droplet size and the spray distance are similar to a human cough. So let's take a look at a cough with and without a mask. So I just added a little indicating device. Cough, 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 another cough, and now with the mask off. I think I see a difference. Wear a mask.
Hello, gentlemen. To me, wearing a mask is all about being humble and not thinking you're bigger or more important than you really are. Just think about what happened to Rudy Gobert when he touched all those microphones. I'm wearing a mask because it's really not that much of an inconvenience to me, and it seems to make a whole lot of other people a whole lot happier.
As teachers, we recognize that missing school isn't fun, but as members of the Rockhurst community, we need you to be a man for others this year.
This virus has turned your world upside down. And the only way to really deal with it is by taking responsibility for monitoring your symptoms on a daily basis.
Here are the major symptoms of COVID-19 that you need to look out for.
Fever greater than 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, dry cough, loss of appetite, shortness of breath, headache, muscle aches.
Minor symptoms of COVID-19 include runny nose, nausea, sore throat, and diarrhea.
Please do not assume, oh, I just have a cold. Maybe you do, but you don't really know if you haven't been tested.
Yes, missing school is inconvenient, but the harm that you might do to the community by ignoring your symptoms and spreading COVID-19 is far more significant than your desire to be physically present at school.
While all of the other measures we've taken to keep the virus from spreading in our community are known to be helpful, the most important thing you can do is stay home if you are sick. The virus can only spread if you are in contact with others.
So, when you're sick, be a man for others by not being with others.
Hi, I'm Mr. Grillo. I'm definitely following all the health and safety guidelines so that I can continue to visit my 100-year-old neighbor, Mrs. Beggs, who really appreciates the company and the little tasks that I can do around the house for her. I want to keep her safe, so please do your part and I will do mine.
One of the messages that you're hearing a lot during this pandemic of COVID-19 is they don't want you to touch your face. Now, the science behind that is twofold. Respiratory diseases get passed along by two different methods. One, you can breathe in the droplets by infected people, so somebody could sneeze and you could breathe it in. The other is direct contamination by the virus itself or a bacteria. And touching your face, which occurs 23 times per hour for the average person, is giving the bacteria and viruses a direct pathway to the mucous membranes in your eyes, nose, and mouth. So you'd have to try and break the habit of touching your face, which is a hard habit to break. So keep yourself safe. Don't touch your face.
Gentlemen, our Lord says in the Gospel of Luke that if a man can be trusted in small matters, he can be trusted in big. So let's take these small matters of washing our hands, social distancing, wearing a mask when appropriate. It all adds up to the very big matter of saving human lives, especially the lives of the most vulnerable in our society. God bless.
Well, hello, gentlemen. Hope the end of your summer is going well. My name is Dr. Hunter, and I'm one of the physics faculty here at Rockhurst High School. And my goal today is to educate you about the challenges of coronavirus transmission and the need for proper physical distancing of at least 6 feet. So, why do we worry so much about physical distancing? Well, the simple fact of the matter is when you exhale, you project. And as part of that projection is you expel gases and droplets of liquid out of your mouth. And they have a velocity. And things travel a distance because of that velocity. Talking and so forth are just one way that those droplets that can contain virus can get projected into the air. And all you have to do then is inhale some of those infected droplets, and you have potentially opened yourself up to an infection of the coronavirus leading to the COVID-19 infection. So we want to be very clear. We're maintaining distancing to minimize your exposure, potential exposure to droplets in the air from other people that could potentially infect you. You're going to maintain 6 feet of distance separation between you and your colleagues, your classmates, your teachers, the staff at Rockhurst. All right? You'll maintain that separation when you're in class. You're going to maintain it during passing periods. You're going to maintain it when you arrive at school, and you're going to maintain it when you leave school to ensure that everybody is at a safe distance to avoid transmission. Now, we spend a little bit of time developing traffic patterns. Please know you may have to travel a little bit further between classes. And that's just the nature of what we have to do right now to maintain safety. So you're going to need to follow these paths. Good news is it's just like driving. You always stay on the right. Stay on the right side, follow the right, take a right turn into a classroom, take a right turn out of a classroom. Pretty straightforward. Throughout it all, your goal is to maintain 6 feet of separation between you and any other person in school.
Hello, Rockhurst. I'm Mr. Nixon, and we're here in a very unique time in our history where we're experiencing a global pandemic, and many of the actions that the CDC is asking us to do seem somewhat counterintuitive to who we are as people, asking us to stay distant from one another. And in fact, that seems counter to what we try to do at Rockhurst. But if I might offer a suggestion or a new way to think about some of these practices, putting a spin on what's known as asceticism onto these actions. Asceticism is an ancient practice that we see having been practiced in the lives of the saints and many holy people before that. And that's a way of self-denial, of avoiding something in order to become more spiritually centered, stronger in your own self-discipline. And I think as men on our road to being virtuous people, we're into that. We're into those challenges. So maybe if you might look at initially the practice of staying 6 feet away from your friends, or maybe avoiding social outings with people as being an inconvenience, I might ask you to think of that as a sacrifice, as some way that you can offer that up for the greater good. So instead of maybe being social with a friend, maybe bring that person into your prayer at the end of your day. Those people that you're not able to come in close contact with, maybe they're loved ones or close friends at Rockhurst. Rather than feeling as though you're not connected with them because you can't be physically close to them, maybe offer them up in your prayer on a daily basis. And that way you might grow in spiritual connectedness with each other. God bless you.